The year is 1940. The Battle of Britain raged overhead, but the true threat to the UK's lifeline was being laid silently, deep beneath the churning, grey waters of the Irish Sea. This is the truth behind Project Silverstream, a mission so classified and its failure so profound that the British Admiralty replaced the loss of an entire RAF squadron with a single, unverified weather report. 80 pilots and crew of the elite 80th Squadron Coastal Command vanished during a non-existent night sortie. Officially, they were lost in heavy fog. In reality, they were sent on a desperate, deniable mission to destroy a hyper-secret German installation, an experimental, submerged Abwehr control cable. This cable was not designed for communication. It was an ambitious technological effort to gain silent, instantaneous control over the vast fields of magnetic and acoustic mines threatening the Allied Western approaches. The existence of this cable, codenamed Deniable, wire hedgehog by the Germans, is confirmed through fragmented Abwehr internal communiques intercepted by Bletchley Park and immediately classified as Gothic priority, a classification reserved for technology with war-ending potential. Deniable was an insulated, deep-sea cable laid along the seabed, running from the occupied French coast well into the middle of the Irish Sea. Its purpose was to transmit highly specific frequency pulses designed to remotely arm, disarm, or even detonate the magnetic mines that had been secretly sown by U-boats and surface raiders. This meant that the German command could, at will, open and close shipping lanes with absolute precision and no warning, making the Allied convoy system completely unmanageable. The British Admiralty realized the immediate danger. If Deniable achieved full operational status, the Irish Sea would become an instant, invisible kill zone, starving the UK into submission. The mission assigned to the 80th Squadron was unprecedented and highly irregular. Coastal Command aircraft, primarily Bristol Beauforts and Lockheed Hudsons, were not designed for precision, deep-water sabotage. Yet the High Command was desperate. The conventional naval approach would risk revealing the Deniable's secret to the Germans. Therefore, the task fell to the RAF to execute a vertical deniable strike. Their objective was to locate the final, vulnerable junction box, the cable's terminal point, using specialized, non-magnetic detection equipment, and destroy it with adapted depth charges. The entire 80th Squadron was briefed under absolute secrecy, their mission logged only as a routine anti-submarine patrol in a wide, non-specific grid. The commander of the 80th, Wing Commander Alan Pierce, expressed severe professional concerns regarding the feasibility of the precision required, but the order came directly from the Admiralty, marked Seastone precedent, a chilling reference to a previous, equally disastrous classified mission. The night of the mission, October 15, 1940, was marked by severe weather, making the official weather loss story perfectly plausible, but the truth was far more complex. The 80th Squadron flew into the designated grid over the Irish Sea. The final radio contact was a brief, coded message from Wing Commander Pierce. Target acquired. Commencing descent. Excessive static interference. That was the last word. No subsequent distress calls were received. No debris or wreckage was ever officially recovered, a physical anomaly given the sheer number of aircraft involved. The total silence was the first terrifying sign that the pilots had encountered a defense far beyond conventional anti-aircraft fire. The subsequent, covert Admiralty investigation revealed the truth, pieced together from residual radio static. The German cable was not merely transmitting control pulses. It was also broadcasting a powerful, highly localized electromagnetic countermeasure designed to blind any aerial surveillance. The Abwehr's countermeasure, designed to protect the cable from accidental discovery, was based on an immense, low-frequency electromagnetic pulse, EMP, generated by the cable itself when subjected to aerial magnetic interference. The RAF aircraft, equipped with their metallic engines and sensitive detection gear, flew directly into this localized EMP field. The catastrophic consequence was immediate. The low-frequency pulse instantly fried the ignition systems and navigation equipment of every aircraft in the formation, causing mass, instantaneous engine failure. The pilots, flying at low altitude over a turbulent sea, would have had zero chance of recovery. 80 pilots and crew were erased from existence in a silent, cascading technological failure. Their loss was not due to fog or flak, but to an invisible, non-conventional German defense that exploited the very electrical systems of the aircraft. The Admiralty, facing the horrific fact that the Germans possessed a technology capable of silently obliterating an entire air formation, immediately initiated the most comprehensive cover-up of the war. The immediate aftermath of the Project Silverstream disaster saw the Admiralty not only fabricate the loss of the 80th Squadron, but initiate a ruthless internal investigation to understand the scope of the German countermeasure. This investigation, codenamed Operation Sea Watch, involved highly specialized technical teams from the Royal Aircraft Establishment, RAE. Their primary objective was to secretly recover any residual physical evidence that might confirm the EMP theory. The RAE teams performed clandestine, deep-sea dredging operations over the designated search grid in the Irish Sea, disguised as routine minesweeping. They located fragments of aircraft wreckage, but the findings were highly inconsistent with conventional crashes. The RAE report, which was immediately classified Project Ghost and sealed, noted that the aircraft aluminum showed no signs of explosive or kinetic impact damage. Instead, the report detailed a widespread, internal fusion and melt of sensitive electrical components, radios, magnetos, and engine wiring, all concentrated within the ignition systems. This confirmed the silent killer. The concentrated low-frequency pulse from the Drottigel cable had overloaded and instantly destroyed the aircraft's electrical lifelines, causing catastrophic failure en masse. The RAE's discovery that the Germans possessed a localized, directed EMP weapon forced the Admiralty into a strategic panic. The Drottigel cable was not just a remote mind control. It was a devastating area denial weapon capable of creating invisible corridors where any metal-reliant technology would instantly fail. The key to countering this threat lay in understanding the cable itself. Intelligence efforts immediately focused on the Abwehr engineer believed to be the project's mastermind, Dr. Wolfgang Keller. Keller, known for his work on magnetic induction and early radar jamming, was operating from a heavily fortified base on the occupied French coast, the presumed terminal point of the Drottigel cable. A desperate SOE mission, Operation Siren, was launched to infiltrate the French base. This mission, too, ended in total erasure, with the SOE agents vanishing without a trace, their log replaced with a note about captured Axis collaborators. This secondary failure confirmed the base was protected by a powerful, multi-layered security system. The breakthrough came from an unlikely source, a forgotten German meteorological report intercepted by Bletchley Park in early 1941. The report, marked for internal German naval use, detailed highly unusual localized atmospheric interference over the central Irish Sea, the exact area where the 80th Squadron was lost. The German meteorologists dismissed it as anomalous static discharge, but the RA scientists recognized it as the airborne signature of the low-frequency EMP field generated by the Drottigel cable. This information allowed the Admiralty to precisely map the cable's path and terminal point. The RA then developed a specialized piece of equipment, a highly sensitive magnetic field disruptor designed to overload the Drottigel system without flying over it. The disruptor, codenamed Project Mongoose, was bulky and required deployment by submarine. The resulting mission, Operation Sea Moth, was the ultimate silent counterstrike. A highly specialized Royal Navy midget submarine, the X-class HMS X-24, was dispatched to the French coast. The crew's objective was to use the Mongoose disruptor to flood the Drottigel cable with an overwhelming counterphase frequency pulse. The mission log for X-24, recovered from a deep-sea repository years later, is the single most compelling piece of evidence confirming the entire Operation Silverstream. The log details the terrifying silence of the operational zone and the immense electromagnetic resistance encountered. The X-24 successfully deployed the Mongoose near the cable's shore terminal. The resulting effect was not a massive explosion, but a sudden, catastrophic electrical feedback loop that traveled instantly along the length of the drawage cable. The log's final entry states, Mongoose active. Severe power surge detected. All local German transmissions ceased. The feedback loop triggered by Operation Seamoth was so devastating that it instantly destroyed the drawage cable and its shore-based control center, effectively ending the German threat. The subsequent cessation of magnetic mine attacks in the Irish Sea confirmed the mission's success. However, the victory could never be acknowledged. To reveal the success of Operation Seamoth would have meant exposing the catastrophic loss of the 80th Squadron and the terrifying reality that the Germans had successfully deployed a working aerial EMP weapon. The Admiralty therefore sustained the cover-up, allowing the 80th Squadron to remain officially lost to the weather. The truth became a highly guarded secret shared only between the highest echelons of the Admiralty and the RA. The successful covert destruction of a technological wonderwaff at the cost of 80 men whose sacrifice could never be honored. The pilots of the 80th Squadron became the silent martyrs of an undeclared EMP war. The silent success of Operation Seamoth and the subsequent destruction of the drawage cable did not end the technological secrecy surrounding the 80th Squadron. The Admiralty, facing internal pressure to account for the massive loss of life, implemented a final, enduring layer of fabrication. They created an entirely fictitious record of a disastrous training flight near the Scilly Isles, attributing the loss of all 80 men and aircraft to a previously unknown severe icing condition and pilot error in poor visibility. This fabricated story, filed away as the Scilly Isles accident dossier, became the only official narrative for the pilot's disappearance. This total erasure was necessary not just to hide the German EMP weapon, but to conceal the RA's subsequent defensive research. The RA immediately initiated Project Faraday, a highly classified program dedicated to developing non-metallic engine components and enhanced electrical shielding for all critical bomber and naval assets. This massive, secret overhaul of Allied technology was the most costly consequence of the Project Silverstream disaster. The ultimate fate of Dr. Wolfgang Keller, the Abwehr engineer who designed the EMP cable, provides the final piece of the espionage puzzle. Following the destruction of the drawage control center, Keller was immediately relocated by the German High Command to a highly secure facility in occupied Norway, a location known for its deep fjords and heavy rock containment. Perfect for testing sensitive, high-power electromagnetic systems. Allied intelligence located Keller in 1944. A final, deniable SOE mission, Operation Norse Fire, was launched to neutralize him. This mission, too, was a failure, but left crucial evidence. The SOE team managed to infiltrate the Norwegian facility, disguised as technicians. Their final, coded radio transmission reported finding a vast, underground laboratory where Keller was now working on a scaled-up, mobile EMP generator, a device intended to disrupt Allied coastal radar and communication systems across the North Sea. The SOE team was overwhelmed, but not before they managed to smuggle out a single damaged photographic negative. The recovered negative, processed by British intelligence under extreme security, revealed the terrifying new scale of Keller's work. The photograph was an obscured, dark image of a massive, metallic apparatus housed in the Norwegian fjord base. It was a prototype for a mobile, ship-mounted EMP device designed to generate a directed magnetic pulse capable of selectively disrupting surface ship engines and electronics over several square miles. This mobile version was the true successor to the stationary drawage cable. This single image confirmed the worst fear of the Admiralty. The German EMP technology was not a failed experiment, but a developing, scalable weapon system. The SOE team's final report concluded that Keller was still alive and highly dangerous. leading to the decision by the Allies to abandon conventional assassination and instead focus all efforts on developing a high-yield, undetectable counter-frequency jammer. The intelligence gained from Operation Northfire was immediately shared with the U.S. Navy, accelerating the creation of Project Galahad, the American equivalent of Project Faraday. This joint Anglo-American effort was focused on developing a powerful, non-EMP susceptible communications backbone for the final invasion plans. The final confirmation of the EMP cable's long-term threat came from a post-war finding in the Irish Sea. In 1952, a commercial fishing trawler accidentally hauled up a large section of the draughtage cable. The section was immediately seized by the Royal Navy under extreme secrecy. The subsequent RA analysis, detailed in a report marked Subsea Specimen D40, confirmed the cable's advanced, unique electrical insulation and its capability for sustained, high-power broadcast. The report also noted the significant physical stress and internal heat damage visible along the cable's length, the residual evidence of the destructive feedback loop caused by Operation Seamoth. The trawler captain was paid an immense sum and sworn to secrecy, and the entire cable section was disposed of in the deepest Atlantic abyssal plain. The final, suppressed truth of Project Silverstream is a complex tale of deniable sacrifice and necessary lies. The 80 pilots and crew of the 80th Squadron were instantly and silently wiped out by a German EMP countermeasure designed to protect their secret mind control cable. Their deaths, though instantaneous and total, forced the Admiralty to fund the secret Project Faraday and accelerated the development of non-metallic systems that later proved essential for Cold War aerial superiority. Their fabricated story, lost to icing near the Scilly Isles, was maintained for over 5 decades to prevent the public and political disclosure of 3 critical facts. 1. The Germans had successfully deployed an effective aerial EMP weapon in 1940. 2. All Allied aircraft and naval vessels were instantly vulnerable. And 3. The successful counterstrike, Operation Seamoth, was so sensitive it could never be revealed. The entire 80th Squadron became a phantom unit, a statistical anomaly used to disguise the successful development and subsequent neutralization of one of the most terrifying technological weapons of the early war. What do you think? Was this a military breakthrough or an operation they erased on purpose?